Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Masters in Fitness Business podcast, where you get to stand on the shoulders of giants. And today is a special edition, bringing arguably one of the biggest giants in the fitness industry on the show to talk about coronavirus. We've all been affected by it, and if you haven't been affected by it, you will be soon. So Tom is going to come on, and Tom's here to tell us what to expect and how to survive this thing. We were chatting before we started recording, and he was telling me in his 40 plus years in the fitness industry, he's never encountered anything like this. This is uncharted waters for everybody, but it's scary times for business owners and fitness business owners. So Tom, thanks for taking the time to come on the show.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for doing a kind of an emergency broadcast to our friends out there. I know a lot of people are afraid, and so let's see what we can do today to maybe get some people a little bit of hope and some direction on this. Yep, so.
Yeah. Hopefully a light at the end of the tunnel, because I don't think the panic is going to subside until there's a light at the end of the tunnel and you can start making some actionable plans. But I wanted to start with the three letters that you've sent out to everybody, and the fourth one that you're going to be releasing soon. You want to recap and bring everybody up to speed on that?
Well, I'm trying to let people know that there's a way forward on this, that we've got to have a plan, and the plan's going to change often, but the structure of what we need to do to protect our businesses, we don't know the length of what's going to happen, but we know that there's a structure forward. So what I'm trying to get everybody to do, and the first letter was breathe. Assess. What do we have? What do we really have? But even in 2 weeks, that's the first letter, which I was kind of like, let's stay open, fight back. Even that has changed somewhat, as there's over 30 states now that either they're mandated closing, or that at this point they're putting restrictions so intrusive that most of the gyms can't operate anyway. So that's part of it. But again, we have to figure out for our guys, our team here, is how can we go forward and what can we do to fight back and how can we survive this? So today, what I'd like to talk about is I'm going to assume that you're going to have to close, and you're going to close somewhere between 2 weeks, 3 weeks, but I'm going to talk to everybody about preparing to be closed for 2 months or longer. I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's somewhere in the next year, Jim, we look at this cast today and say that was the stupidest shit ever, that this fixed itself in 2 weeks. Tom just overkilled it. But most of the people that follow you are people I've known for years and years. For both of us, they're our friends. Mm-hmm. The people that we have dinner with, the people we care about. So I'd much rather be wrong by over killing this than letting guys get out there and get into 2 or 3 months on this, and there's nothing I can do to help them. So we're going to start from the fact that it's not going to be the best news I'm going to share today, but we're going to prepare for I hope for the best, pray for the best, but I'm going to prepare for the absolutely shittiest day of my life, and it appears to be here. So we'll start from there. And I would like to thank you, Phil, for the payment. 3 rolls of toilet paper. I can now buy a Mercedes in Florida with that. So thank you for the payment that you express mail to me. That's really cool. If you could have thrown in a steak and hand sanitizer, dude, I've been gold down here. So.
Yeah, it's prison rules now. A roll of toilet paper has increased in value by 100-fold. I had to insure that package for like $12,000 so nobody would steal it. But I know we were talking again before we started recording, and I know I fell into this camp where I was trying to stay open because we're a 3,000 square foot training studio. So we were trying to stay open under the rule set of, hey, we have to get a lot less people traffic than big commercial gyms. Hell, we get a lot less people traffic than grocery stores, and our cleaning protocols we're able to shift on the fly and clean a lot more, and clean surgically, meaning, we can highlight different spots to clean and things like that. But it got to the point where it was, people started looking at us sideways like we were part of the problem because we were still open instead of closing. So we were doing more damage, more harm than good from a PR standpoint, and also from a public health standpoint. So we made the decision to go ahead and close. both from a PR standpoint and a public safety standpoint. And it was a tough decision because we don't know when we're going to be able to open. We said 2 weeks, but it may be longer than that. And if we may have to prepare for that 2-month window, like you said. So I want to jump into what is it going to take for me to survive 2 months with my door shuttered?
Let's start one. I advocated while we could, which again is old news, 2 or 3 weeks old now, that to fight back, to stay open, because we are that beacon of hope. We are providing information and the way to fight back your immune system, the way to actually go forward for our clients. But the optics on it are getting kind of dark, but let's assume that's going to be taken away from us anyway. There is no, I'd like to talk about staying open. I can mention that briefly, but what it's really coming down to is you will be closed. There's going to be very few states. There's over 30 states now that have either closed gyms and they use the kiss of death word indefinite, or that they put restrictions to the fact that we can't. Now, the guys that have stayed open are the smaller gyms. And you've sat through a lot of my workshops. You probably have heard me over the years saying, when you open a new gym, can you get classified in your market as wellness instead of some kind of fitness center? You don't want to be a gym. So a lot of the guys that I've started with from their gym, from ground up with their gyms, we fit like chiropractors, physical therapists. We're classified as them. So the rules for us are different than gyms. So if anybody listen to this, next time you open the gym and it's a training gym, see if you can get classified locally as a wellness facility instead of that, because we do nutrition, we do guidance, lifestyle, we do things beyond the scope of training. But that said, let's assume we're going to close. So the first thing is, if you're going to close, set a date and use the word anticipated. So I'm going to work off today, knowing you'll probably release this today or tomorrow. So yep. In that case, let's look at the 6th. So I'm going to close for 2 weeks. The day's the 19th. So I'm going to reopen the 6th. I'll make that call on the 3rd. So I'm going to tell my clients, we're going to anticipate reopening on this date. We will make the hard call on the 3rd, and we go forward from there. So if you like, Jim, I've got 2 different ways. Let's talk about what we can do technically when closing, but let's talk about customer service separately and what we can do to protect our business while we're closed. So the first part, if I'm going to close, I hope 2 weeks, and I hope this flatlines as it does in Japan and even China now, Taiwan, most of the clean countries, so to speak, the heavy and industrialized Western style countries, they're able to fight this much harder or faster than like Italy, where it's just people on people and a lot of smokers, kissing on the cheek. Their lifestyle and stuff, they get caught. So we shouldn't be compared to them, but we know it's going to be bad here. So the 2 weeks to me is optimistic. I like to do that. I'm going to reload every 2 weeks until I'm going to have to, at that point, somewhere in there, finally get open. But I'd like to prepare all our friends here to stay closed for at least 2 months and possibly longer. Mm. So if you're going to close down, first thing is you go proactive on everything, chase everything. So I'm going to go to my landlord. I'm going to try to get 3 months free rent. Or 3 months forgiven rent amortized over the remainder of my lease. So if I can get 3 payments now taken off and then amortize that over that, most people like this are going to get some kind of relief from the government that's already in the works. And I'll talk about that separately for our guys too. So it's not unusual to ask for this, but don't wait until you're so desperate that you're begging. Go proactive. If you're closed, go to your landlord, say, look, I'm going. I want to reopen. Can you work with me for 2-3 months and just amortize that over the remainder? Do the same thing with your bank. See if you can get whatever bank payments you have, push back, 2 or 3 months, just extend your loan. What can you do to fight back with this? Now, if we're closing, the big issue is staff. So on the technical side, I'm going to give a lot of information to our guys today that they don't like. And so this is one of them. I'm going to designate my key players, my management staff / key full-time performers, and I'm going to pay them I'm going to tell them, guarantee them I will pay them at least a month. Because when you say I'm going to, I'll do the best I can to pay you, they're scared to death. They're going to be moving to towns with their parents. They're going to leave the state. All kinds of crazy stuff happens to people that are afraid. Give them a chance to breathe. If you have the money, you got to take care of your people. You've got to pay them for at least 30 days. Part-timers, if you have the money, pay them for the full 30 and then reassess them at the end of 30. The social support networks are not going to kick in for 2 to 3 weeks for those people. But my key people, the cost of replacing them, the cost of it take me to train them, we're going to come out of this. We're going to come out of this in position to go forward. But that said, you have to have your staff intact, and there's plenty of stuff we can do with it. We'll talk about, but you have to be ready to go forward. So I'm going to hang on to my staff as best I can. I'm going to be prepared to go forward, but it's costly, and we have to prepare for that. So the short version is everybody needs to prepare financially with enough reserve capital to stay closed for 2 months without losing your business.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. That's exactly what I did. There's two sides of the coins. There's the business side, talking to the landlord or the banks, and getting some kind of grace period set up for it. It's some kind of plan in place and being proactive about it. And then also your employees and taking care of the team. I've done that with the full-time employees, and let the part-time employees know that I'm going to take care of them as long as I can, because my guess is whether it's 2 weeks or 2 months, when we get out of this, business is going to boom. You're right. We're going to move forward, but business is going to boom because people are sitting at home with nothing to do. And what do you do when you have nothing to do? You watch Netflix and eat and get fat. And people are going to come out of this fatter and more out of shape than ever, and they're going to need us. So that's why I'm glad I have you on the podcast today to talk about, like you said, worst case, prepare for 2 months. And if it's 4 weeks, bonus, right? So exactly. I agree with you 100%. So that's the business side. That's the back side, taking care of your team and making sure they know you got their back is so important. How you treat people during this really will determine how you come out the other side of this. But the other side is the clients, the members, the customers. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, let me finish that. You said something that's very important. So when we come out of this, there's a basic rule that I always try to teach everybody in business is there's always opportunity in chaos. Anytime there's destruction, there's always those people that think that go forward. In 2006, I think Starbucks stock was down to $7.62. People were selling because they were terrified, except for that 10% that bought because it was the bargain of the century. Disney stock collapsed a couple of days ago because they're shut down in Florida and just completely. You're talking about 100,000 visitors a day gone. They're losing millions a day, and they shut down. But what a deal, to buy. People are buying that stock or buying index funds that have that stock included in it. They're going forward. Well, the bad news for us is if we stay 2 months or more, we're going to lose about 10% of the gyms in the country. The training gyms, and I'm going to rant this to death. Anybody's been in my workshops, I pounded you senseless on 12-month contracts because this is exactly the time where you need them. So 12-month contracts, anytime missed, I move it back. The members continue to make the payments, and I have a chance to go forward. If you're month to month or you are a session and package guy, you're going to lose your income, and you're going to lose a lot of it, and you may not survive it. So the thing forward is I need 2 months of reserve capital. But when we come out of this, you're right. People are already, my wife and I here in Florida, we've been kind of self-quarantined for about 9 days, and we're just going to go out this afternoon and drive around. We're going to go. We may go out to this outdoor sushi place because I can sit 6 feet from other people. By God, we're getting out of here tonight. It's just so 2 months of people sitting at home. There'll be a lot of babies, But 2 months, you're gonna go crazy. It's
Yeah.
so when people come
A
out of
lot of
it,
a lot of divorces too.
yeah, it's like you spend 2 months locked down. Yeah. So you're going to, so people come out of this, there are going to be fewer gyms, and the mainstream gyms in many ways are hurt. There's a gym in New York that I'm familiar with. They have a $230,000 monthly rent. And so, you get a bunch of those laying around. What do you do with that? They're not, there's a lot of gyms in New York, not, that just have that type of rent. You've got 60, 80 clubs idle, sitting there. So the big chains, what do you do when you've got 300 clubs sitting there empty with no chance to make revenue? And so they're going to get bailout loans, but some of them were hurt going into this. We're overbilled at the top there's so much investment money, or was up until 2 weeks ago, that all these big chains are growing because of the available money, but the growth is spurred by the money, not the demand on the bottom by the consumer. So we're getting overbuilt. So there's going to be a natural correction there, which is good for the training world. There's going to be a correction in our world, which is sad, but the business reality is we're going to lose 10%. And maybe if this is 2 months to 3 months, 20% of all training gyms in the country will be gone. There's just no way forward. For somebody to have 3 months of reserve capital or the ability to borrow that, or by the time you get the loans to bail you back out, most guys are, sadly, a lot of our friends their gym is like a job. They take a paycheck out of their gym, and they're one paycheck away from their own. They've created a business where they're employing their own business. So there's no savings, there's no asset, there's nothing there. They've created a 70-hour-a-week job making the equivalent of $12 an hour because you work so hard. Right. But when that's taken away from you for 60, 90 days, and you got $2,000 or $3,000 in the bank, you're gone.
Yeah.
So looking at that case, before we get on to the customers, this is, if you have the ability to borrow from a client, borrow money for 3 to 5 years, preferably 5 years, offer a decent interest rate. If you can redo your bank loans, do that. What can you do to come up with enough money? And when you look at this, start with 2 months, look at possible income, meaning if you still have people on contracts, you're still going to get probably 90% of them paying you. If what do you have coming in? And we'll talk about what you can do to make some money come in. We're going to go to that next. But, what do I have coming in? What do I need to pay my rent if I can't make a deal with the landlord? Bank, if I can't make a deal with the bank. Utilities, which have to be paid. What do I have to do to live? And I need to find that money, and find it now, even though it's like, oh, gee, I'm only going to be closed 2 weeks. Oh, it's a hoax. As of today, you have to assume this is not a hoax. There's just too much damage being done. Even if it turns out to be not what they think it is, the damage is done because the gyms are shut. So it doesn't matter if you believe it's real or not, you're already being affected by it to enough that you might lose your business.
Absolutely. So before we jump to the client side, let's say you have somebody who, like you said, is treating their business. They've created a job for themselves and they're going on session packages. So it's imperative for them to stay open to continue to gain income. But at this point in this climate, the longer they stay open, the more damage they do from an optics side, from a PR side. So at what point do they, make that call?
I'm going to contradict myself in these 2 points. If it was me and I was going to lose everything and I could keep my gym clean, I could do one-on-one clients, I could wear, latex-free gloves, powder-free gloves. I could clean my gym after every session. I'd probably be in the back room trying to do sessions to protect my life. But the other hand of that is optics. It's not good, and that is regional. My guys in Canada, I know you got a lot of Canadian listeners in this, but up there, if you're open, you're viewed as, kind of a lesser human being. You're part of the problem, not the solution. So my compromise is voluntarily close for 2 weeks. It will not hurt your business to close for 2 weeks. So as of today, I voluntarily close until the 6th. And then I just, at that time, can I reopen? I'll have to make that judgment the Friday the 3rd. But I think for most of you that are trying to fight it out, voluntarily closing for 2 weeks and letting this settle to see what it's going to be like, because it's changing by the hour to sit, that's the compromise position. So yes, you got to fight. But at some point in here, if I can shut down for 2 weeks, make the optics good, keep the community there, but also can I switch my training outside my gym? So that's probably what we need to talk about now, I guess.
Yep,
is
absolutely.
Here's the big thing to go with this. The same level, if not more, of customer service you're using now in your gym needs to go when you're closed. So so the thing is, everybody's worried about, I'm losing new sales. Hell with new sales. Let's protect the business you have. So your whole goal for 2 months is to protect what you already own. Don't worry about bringing new business in. Just worry about starting your doors with about the same number of clients you shut them with. If we can do that, that's going to be miraculous. So let's start our thought process there. So first thing is, if you're a contractual obligation, people are terrified of losing time. So I'm gonna go to every client that's on contract and say, look, here's this. Any time missed, I'm gonna double it and add it to the end of your contract. So if I'm closed 2 weeks, I'll add a month. I just move your expiration date out. But in that case, the clients keep making the payments, so they at least make the payments. Would I give a guy if I was closed 2 months and he made 2 payments while I closed, would I give him 4 months? Hell yes. Yeah, because I'm going to come out of this chasing some new business to offset this guy's time, which he won't get until his contract expires anyway. So the next thing is leadership. People, this is a void. And again, you've heard my lecture over and over and over again on that we're a professional trainer, coach. These are professional gyms. We're the same as their accountants, they're lawyers, they're doctors. They look at us as leadership role in their lives. Excuse me, or should look like that. So that said, we have to take leadership in a crisis. So when you are closed, start by just getting control of the situation within. Pardon me, Jim, I've been talking nonstop for 2 weeks, way beyond my thought process. But
if we're tapping you out, that's a lot of talk, brother.
Yeah. You see me on some of my worst days, and so I've got to get control of the situation. So the first thing is information. So I'm going to at least once to twice a day send them tips. Don't ask for business, just start to get in their life. Send them, here's how to fight back immune system. Hey, I just went to the store. Here's what is there and what you can buy. Here, look, nobody's touched the supplement aisle. These are the 3 supplements that you might want to take and double the dosages for the next couple of weeks. Here's some recipes for soups, and this is the stuff I know that's still in the stores. Fitness tips at home. Can you walk? Can you go full? What can you do? What can I do to stay healthy? So once to twice a day, I'm going to throw those out. This is also something that nobody's going to like, but I'm going to call every client once a week, and I'm going to say, how are you? What are you doing? I'm going to give a little bit, write this out as the script. Don't ramble and say, look, hey, this is Tom from the gym. I just want to give you an update. We don't anticipate opening for at least a couple of weeks. How may I help? If you need somebody to talk to you about fitness at home, call me. If you need to talk about nutrition, call me. Hey, by the way, are you seeing our workouts? We're posting workouts every day, so at home. So at least once a day, I'm going to post a workout live using either Instagram Live, FaceTime, whatever tech you've got, Skype. If you're an old PC dude, whatever you got going, get something going. We're on Zoom today, I believe, so something like that.
And we're doing it on our closed Facebook group for our members.
Yeah, closed Facebook group. That's perfect. Post it, run it live, record it, dump it on the sites later, put it to your YouTube channel. So now you're starting to have a library of these, and just go from there. I also have guys that have stations set up, computer stations in their closed gyms, where they'll have 4 or 5 laptops, and they're actually working with clients on headphones, so they can have run at the same time. So they're talking with headphones and mics, and they're coaching up. There's still a little bit of spoilage with sound, but you're standing there working with your clients at home in front of the TV. Also, right now, you have to provide workouts. Some of the guys in the southern states or where the weather's broke are going to the parks. That's your judgment call. But if I'm going to the park, I'm still going to try to be somewhat of a distance. I'm going to wear the gloves. I'm going to hand those out. I'm going to disinfect everything, bring much disinfectant, spray down all this shit before, let the members see you spraying it down so they know it's not just clean. I watched you clean it immediately afterwards. Don't let the clients touch each other. Guys are doing that, but you need to provide workout structure. One guy I talked to yesterday, he's got an old school aerobics program, and his instructors are teaching out of their living rooms, and they've got 30 to 40 people clicking in at home watching these classes. It's amazing. I mean, he was kind of laughing. So some of these days, I'm already getting bigger numbers here than I actually do in the gym. And he was kind of like, this sucks. But the instructors are taking this. Another thing you can do is a loaner program. For example, my daughter's gym, Quench, she's got 64 sets of equipment she's loaning out. So like a kettlebell, mini bands, stuff like that. My favorite, if you got them, is a medicine ball, mini bands, and a jump rope. And so they rent it, or I can buy them. Perform Better right now, I talked to Chris Poyer yesterday, and I think they're really providing some leadership in this mess. But you can call and order like 10, get 10 medicine balls, get all the mini bands you can do. Give every client mini bands. Get some kick-ass jump ropes. That's what I would send them, because I think that I can program pretty much universally, and it's cheaper than moving around kettlebells. But I'm gonna send those, and then if the members want to buy the kits, I'll just send my staff. I'll deliver them. Dude, I got a 10-pound, medicine ball, mini bands, and a jump rope. He'll be at the house in an hour. Give me your credit card number. So then they can follow along with the workouts, or at least I can take my one-on-one clients and do that. I'm going to give my one-on-one clients those kits if I can afford it, but everybody else, I'm going to sell them and go for it. So can you get a rental program? So what happens in our gym, for example, is they come in, they pick up the equipment, they take it home, do a workout, they bring it back, it's sanitized, then next day somebody else uses it. So they've got 60 sets that are rotating throughout the day in and out of the gym. And if the member accidentally doesn't bring it back, they've signed a little waiver that I can hit your credit card, and we put a value on it, like this kettlebell and this mini bands and jump ropes worth $89. And if you don't bring it back, I'm hitting you for $89. So if somebody gets sick and it just sits in the garage, I've at least got to have the ability to get my money back on my equipment. But that's something you can go proactive with. The daily contact, or the weekly contact, calling them, we started that with my guys in the UK because they were hit a little different, a little earlier than we were. And it's working crazily successful. That they're calling people, and the members are like, hey, I've got 2 memberships, my other gym didn't call me, and hey, well, thanks for thinking of me, and yeah, man, I would like to sit on a nutrition lecture or something. So they went so proactive with the calls, but some of these guys have multiple gyms. You're calling 1,000 members. So if I'm paying my staff and we're closed, they're going to work. And so we're going to call people, and we're going to go from there and just do what we can. We're going to work people out, but we can maintain this. Remember, the customer service has to be just as intense, if not more so, when you're closed than it's open. I want to save 90% of my clients coming out of this. That's my goal as an owner.
Yeah, those are all great points, because that's the point I wanted to make, is how you handle yourself going into this determines to a large part how you look coming out of this. You can, like you said, with the optics, you can really hurt yourself coming out of this to where you come out with a black eye, or you can come out shining like a star and like, oh, we really appreciate, the leadership you showed, and the concern that you showed, and the customer service, and all of that. And for us, we wanted to overcompensate. We felt like it was important to overcompensate. So for our members, what we did was that any member that didn't have an unlimited membership, we're upgrading them to an unlimited membership for a month when they get back. For people who already had unlimited memberships, we're giving them $100 worth of supplements, because we've got some new supplement line coming out, and that will hopefully get them buying supplements when they come back. So it could be, increasing another revenue stream for us, but it also is part of the customer service. In addition to that, we have that Alloy app which is really just a version of the Trainerize app, which is pretty slick. You can set up custom workouts for your clients. It's video driven. They could check off when they've done the workout, so you can check in to see, have they done the workouts that you've sent them? Are they staying on track with their goals and their workouts and things like that? You can actually message them directly through the app. So there's tons of things, and I love the idea of the loaner gyms. That's a great idea. And you can, deliver them, because what else you got to do? You're not working in your gym day to day, so you might as well work to, outside the gym and employ your team. Because I think the other bright side of this is it's going to change the face of a lot of industry. I think it's going to change the face of education, work from home, or independent work. And it's also going to change the face of fitness. I mean, Peloton was way out ahead of this, but I think you're going to see a lot more businesses come out of this in that Peloton type model. So if you can take advantage of that, and then once you're up and running again, then you can continue to operate this, and it could just be another side business or another revenue stream.
Yeah, the like the Peloton model, that's obviously that's made for a prison cell. You're sitting at home in your little, they always show these massive bedrooms, and they always show these ripped people, and they show that, almost orgasm sex faces as they're, finishing the workout. And it's like, really, dude, come on. And then, but if you think about it, that type of thing goes against kind of what you said earlier, is within 2 months, people are sitting at home. People are not closet people. They're not, for every introvert, there's always those crazies that want to be out, and they're not going to be that person. So they'll have a surge, but it's going to come back to our favor. Even more important, a lot of people, I get a lot of weird questions about Peloton, and oh my God, but man, it goes back to the original blue life cycle. That was going to destroy us. The first home treadmills. And I think we laughed at the last show. We were talking about how many Bowflexes do you see in yard sales for $50? What were those suckers? $3,000 or something?
Something ridiculous. Yeah.
And they were really cool. They worked. I mean, they actually were a pretty cool workout. But that was going to put us out of business. Oh my God, we're going to get destroyed. But it's still you sitting at home in your little room by yourself. And how many people, we're going to test that limit in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
People are going to bust out. And I think that's going to change it. If they stabilize this, then the pushback from the consumer. I mean, Tom Brady left Boston, and every bar in Boston's closed. You can't even go bullshit. You can't go sit in the bar and cry like Boston is known to do.
Yeah,
those bars, every sports bar in Boston would have been lines out the street just to talk about Brady to other crazy fans. You can, at some point in here, it's going to flatline, which means we can see that it's controlled. We can see that the disease is structured. We can see that this is what's working. And they'll start to push back and say, hey, we're going to open the schools in 2 weeks. We're going to open this in 2 weeks. Restaurants can open in 3 weeks. It'll either happen like that, or it's going to go totally dark. But the only way you're going to keep the typical American sitting in his house is martial law. You're by choice, people are, if they're given an option, they're going to go shopping. They're going to get out. They're going to walk their dog. They're going to go chase their kids in the park. And it's just, people are out and they're not going to stay at home. And so once we figure out what this really is and what the long-term ramifications of it are, which I think they will in 2 or 3 weeks, we'll either see the trend come in our favor and we'll reopen in a couple of months, or it's going to go the other way. And by then, this is all bullshit. It doesn't matter at that point. If it goes that dark, then, just check your wine cellar and, it's crazy at that point.
Yeah. Wine cellar and gun stash.
Yeah.
But so I guess the bottom line is we're going to come out of this, whether it's 2 weeks or 2 months, we will come out of this. And so it's about surviving this. And that's on the business side, trying to get some forgiveness on the rent/bank note, and all your other debts, take care of your team. And then on the customer facing side, customer service to the nth degree, stay in front of your customers every week, stay in touch with your members and your clients, if not daily, every other day, at least once a week, provide remote options for them to keep their health and fitness on track. Even if they don't take advantage of them, still provide them with that, and provide them, still be that expert, that leader, so that you can keep them paying their dues, so that you can come out of this and then aggressively attack new members.
Yeah, if I may make one more point on this, this is, if you're shut down for 2 weeks or a month, you've got to make a personal choice. You can take this and just, be part of the problem, part of the endless stream of people that are, this is everything from conspiracies to hoaxes to God knows what, and you can be part of that mess. And there's not much that's going to happen. You're going to probably lose your business. Or you can look at this as time to, okay, this is the time to reassess. So I'm telling the guys, like, go in the gym, get your guys together because you're paying them. Come in the back door so you don't look like you're open, but go in there and just clean these gyms, paint the front areas. I always like to paint different shades so the members notice, but paint, move every piece of equipment, fix your bathrooms, your locker rooms. This is a chance to rebuild your gym down to the day it was open. This is a chance to go through your gym, especially if you've been open 3 or 4 years. Anything you haven't touched in 90 days in any office, on the training floor, in the closet, throw that shit away. Members associate clutter with dirty, with nasty. So when these members come back and you got a bunch of shit sitting in the corner for 2 years, you're sending the wrong message. Members are going to be really sensitive coming out of this. Some of them are going to be really sensitive. So when you're coming out of this, the gym's got to look the part. So you've got time to do that. You've got time to get another certification online. You've got time to train your staff like this. If you're going to switch to like a financial service company, a lot of guys put that off because of the time. No better time now to chase somebody like ASF and say, look, I'm in. Let's do it because I got plenty of time. Let's go. So you've got time to fix your gym, to restructure your business. You've got time to do marketing. I've got guys, and this is really weird, questionable, but they're already shooting marketing, shooting testimonials because they've got guys coming in that want to train, and they're using them and shooting testimonials to release when they're open. So we're stockpiling testimonials because they're kind of secretly doing one-on-one training anyway in their gyms. But while the guy's there, they just shoot them up, and now we've got a whole new stream of videos to chase when we go. So everybody, the good owners, you got to think about who you are and what you want. This is your business. It's your life. Fight. You can sit home and this is tough. It's dark. I went through this is my 4th major depression, if you count the financial stats of my career. The 80s, people lost a tremendous amount of real estate. Virtually in New Mexico, for example, I had a client. Every developer down there also owned a gym. Every single developer in the state went bankrupt during that rough time period. The 90s was a correction. 2006, that's what people still remember. But even some of our gym owners are too young to really think about 2006 and 2007, how bad that was. And that was the end of the world. This one's tough, but we always come out stronger. But 10, 20% of the people will fight and come out as best they've ever been and ready to kick ass. And a lot of people are just going to blame everything, do nothing, bitch and moan, and they're going to lose their gyms. Yeah. So that's harsh. It's the harsh reality. But my challenge to everybody is, guys, just stand up, fight for what you want. And if this business means something to you, you want to protect those clients, you want to do the right thing, take care of your clients, take care of your staff as best you can, fight for your business, and understand that this too will pass. I hope it's in 2 weeks, but I'm planning for 2 months, and you guys got to start thinking that this is going to not be an overnight. It's not fake, it's not hoax, it's not bullshit. It doesn't matter what it is. It only matters that it's already affected you because your gym is shut. So be prepared to go forward or be prepared to go down.
Yeah. And that's a great point. I don't think any owner should politicize anything, because the minute that you come out and take a political stance on any issue, you automatically alienate up to 50% of your members. So
Yes.
so you should just take it from a public health standpoint and the health of your clients, and don't become political with it, because you'll be shooting yourself in the foot. The other thing that you said, we're having some company come Monday to steam clean the turf, steam clean and disinfect the turf, and they've got this COVID-19 fogger is supposed to kill the virus. I think it's bullshit, and I think it's price gouging. But I contend, then I'm planning on posting pictures of this. Hey, look, I've dropped the equivalent of an atomic bomb, a COVID-19 atomic bomb in my club. It's going to be safe when it opens up, because we target the fit over 50 crowd. So we better take extra precautions and be aware of that when we're marketing and when we're taking these steps and when we reopen.
Yeah. The two good points there. Those were excellent. The social media thing, there's so much misinformation out there. Be very careful of what you pass on as truth to your clients. I recommend anybody that wants to protect their business is stay out of politics. And every time I talk about that, guys still, they text me or they hit me on Facebook, and well, I have the right to do that. This is my private Facebook page. It's not on my gym page. And if you're a business person, you don't. So if you want to do it, take the hit. I can't tell you not to do it. I'm telling you not to do it. But if you're going to do it, you're going to lose, as you say, 50%, maybe more of the clients, because you made a decision. And if you pass around false stuff or questionable sources, you're really destroying your credibility. On the cleaning stuff, when they do that, yes, I recommend that. I would take enough video to make it look like I've had a couple times and drop different angles, so I can, hey, here they clean, and hey, by the way, I had it done again, to kind of push that, because I do want it cleaned more than once. I may not do the super bomb, but I'm going to clean so I can mix some photos of the first guy in with with my new cleaning crews and stuff, and show that this is being cleaned. But yeah, I want this posted. But again, guys, I'm not even open, but look what I'm doing for the gym. I'm ready. What you said was very powerful. I'm going to be ready when they come back. But that's the type of stuff that we post. We're here, we're cleaning, we're going to be ready for you. This is going to be one of the safest places you could possibly visit.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, be careful with that. Meaning, all these guys, be careful what you say, but take leadership, but remember your brand. You're only one post away from destroying 5 years of good business.
Yeah.
So be really careful with that.
Yeah. All right. And then, Tom, thanks a lot for coming on. This has been great information, and I would love to have the right to have you back on, depending on how long this lasts and whatever turns it may take to discuss it further.
Anytime in short notice, like I got nowhere to go.
None of us do.
So, and I'm going to speak for everybody. I've on the Perform Better site are my workshops, and they're under the NFPA. Any of those that anybody wants to go to, the rest of the year, they can come as my guest. I want to be part of the solution, not part of the problem. I know guys are hurt. We're going to be, we think we're going to make the Orlando one. It's going to work in April. If not, Chicago, somewhere in there, we'll be back. In this case, if they email you, if you don't mind, and I'll let your folks pass them on to me. I'll arrange seats for anybody that wants to go. Can't help them with the speaker school, because that's kind of PB's gig, but the NFBA stuff, I can certainly, any of those events. There's 5 major 2-day workshops in the customer service sales workshop in Baltimore. Any of those, come as my guest. You guys, you're going to have enough trauma this year without trying to figure that out. If you want to come and bring your team, I'll comp as many seats as you need, and we'll see if I can help you heal and get to the next level.
Awesome. Thank you, Thomas. And those links will be in the show notes at trainergym.net. Just click on this episode, and all the links to sign up for the NFBA events as Tom's guest will be right there. Thomas, thanks a lot, man. It's always fun talking to you. And you always say it like it is. So the bad news is this could last up to 2 months, and some people aren't going to make it. The good news is that it is going to end, and we're going to come out of this stronger.
Yes. Yeah, I hope I'm wrong about the 2 months. I really
Yeah.
hope I'm wrong. I hope they, boy, Plummer was an idiot. 2 months, it was only 2 weeks. I'll take that hit. I'll
Yeah.
take that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if
Me,
not,
me too.
protect yourself. Thanks,
Yeah.
Jim. Be
All right.
safe.
Thanks, Tom. All right. Have a good rest of your day. Enjoy your drive. Enjoy the outdoor sushi.
Thanks, man.
All right. All right. Thanks, Tom.